Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, and Joliet Memorial Stadium. It's time for CCAC soccer as the Redhawks of Indiana University Northwest come in to take on the Saints of the University of St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you on the play-by-play for this afternoon's contest as the Fighting Saints try to pick up their third consecutive victory. St. Francis comes in with an overall record of 5-1 on the season, their only loss coming to a top 5 opponent at Marion back on September the 7th. And the Saints are coming off of an impressive 5-0 victory at Indiana South Bend in the opener of conference play earlier this week. Indiana Northwest checks in with a record of 1-2-2 for the season. They're looking for their first victory today since August 27th and their first result since September the 7th. They have dropped 2 conference matches already. They opened up CCAC play last week against Olivet Nazarene, fell to them 7-2, and then a loss again at home earlier this week against Trinity International. They dropped that game 1-0. So the Redhawks are looking to get on track for the first time in CCAC play this year. So are the Saints in their the Saints are looking for their second wins, their second attempt at a conference victory this year. Both teams are on the field. St. Francis in white, Indiana Northwest in red, and the Redhawks take the first kick, moving from right to left here in the first half. Indiana Northwest will be shooting into the north goal. The Fighting Saints going from left to right on the screen. They'll be shooting into the south goal to start today's matchup. The starters for St. Francis today as they control the ball on the defensive side of the field are Rochelle Pelayo, Vivian Ventura, Abby Janacek, Haley Bartlaga, Alexis Mariquin, Mia Okana, Allison Shar, Natalie Salgado, Emily Galvin, and Andrea Aguirre. Fighting Saints push it into Indiana Northwest territory but lose the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Redhawks. Slower start today for St. Francis than they had on Wednesday against Indiana South Bend. That's not saying much as there's a collision on the near sideline and a foul is called against the Fighting Saints. So the Redhawks will get a free kick here from just across midfield. St. Francis scored about a minute into the action on Wednesday. So an excellent start to them against Indiana South Bend in what proved to be a dominant performance. You weren't expecting the same again today. That ball is sent into the box on a couple of hops. It goes out of bounds and out for a St. Francis goal kick. But the Fighting Saints are playing very well to start the season as they look to improve to 2-0 in conference play. Crystal Rodriguez is in the net for the Fighting Saints. Rodriguez has always been in the net this season. She's a freshman out of Morton West High School, and she's played every minute of the campaign so far. In 6 games, she's allowed just 8 goals, and she is coming off of her first collegiate shutout. That 5-0 win earlier this week. She's made 30 saves, has a .789 percentage this year, 30 saves against 38 shots. Off to a great start to her collegiate career. Not only does she have the shutout under her belt now, but she's got 5 wins overall. Now a chance for the Fighting Saints into the box. There's a shot deflected away by the goalkeeper Isabel Escalera. Mia Okana is turned away as the Saints were looking to jump out to a quick 1-0 lead again. Indiana Northwest starts a freshman goalkeeper as well. Isabel Escalera is out of Waukegan High School, and she makes a nice play taking the ball off the foot of Okana in the first couple of minutes of today's action. St. Francis tries to keep the pressure on, but they lose it out of bounds over on the far side of the field, and Indiana Northwest will get the throw in here. Escalera, like Rodriguez for the Saints, has played every minute of the season. Not as many minutes in her case, just 5 games played, but she's played all 90 minutes, all 5 times. She's allowed 11 goals, an average of 2.2 per contest. She has saved 75% of the attempted shots, 33 out of the 44. Officially a 1-2-2 record, and she, like Crystal Rodriguez, has 1 shutout this season. That came in Indiana Northwest's only victory of the year so far, back on August the 27th. They beat Huntington 1-0. Just over 3 minutes into the game, 1 real scoring threat so far. It belonged to St. Francis. But Escalera was able to come up with the stop, and we remain scoreless the first few minutes in. Fighting Saints take it on defense. This is Vivian Ventura. She taps it back behind her, and Andrea Aguirre starts to make the move over to the left side. The starters for Indiana Northwest today, along with Escalera in goal, they've got Elise Mundo Sweet, Brisa Sanford, Mackenzie Rainwater, Haley Heilich, Kayla Zeal, Bryn Nyland, Kelly Schaefer, Abigail Heinz, Amanda Cruz, and Brooke Durkin. Kelly Schaefer, the sophomore midfielder out of Crown Point, Indiana, would have to be the player to watch, at least offensively for Indiana Northwest. She not only leads the team with 5 goals this year, she has scored all but 1 of their goals on the season. Indiana Northwest has 6 goals in 5 games played. She's got 5 of them, total of 22 shots, 13 of them on goal. So she'll be a tough attacker for the Fighting Saints to stop today. USF does have it along the sideline. Okana works around a couple of defenders and pushes it ahead. Here's Allison Shar, and Shar loses it out of bounds. Allison Shar coming off of arguably the best game of her St. Francis career. She scored a couple of goals against Indiana South Bend on Wednesday, but it wasn't just her. It was just a total team whitewashing of the Titans of South Bend. St. Francis outshot IUSB that day 45-2. Indiana South Bend is still looking for their first win of the year. So even though Indiana Northwest is not off to the start they would like to be this year, certainly not in conference play, they figured to be a tougher challenge today, and I don't think we'll see anywhere close to that level of domination today. But so far it has been the Fighting Saints controlling possession. This is Shar taking the shot over Escalera, and she shoots it off to the left side out of bounds. Escalera came way out of the net, and Shar, rather than trying to get around her, decided to take her chance from long range with an open net. Not a bad idea, but she pushed it about 10 feet wide, and it turns into a goal kick. Shar took 13 shots in that 2-goal performance on Wednesday. Of those 13 shots, 8 of them were on goal, and she scored twice. Along the far sideline, right at midfield, St. Francis in possession. They'll go the other way with it. Janacek passes to Rodriguez, gets it right back, and now working down the middle of the field. Just about 38.5 minutes to play in the first half. Indiana Northwest trying to make their first run into the box of the game. Schaefer's able to get the shot off, deflected out of bounds by Emily Galvin, and that'll set up a corner kick for the Redhawks. So nice work by Kelly Schaefer getting to that ball pretty quickly. Galvin was in tow the whole way, but Schaefer just straight up beat her to the ball. And even though she was not at a clean angle to take a good shot, she was able to deflect it off of Galvin for the corner kick. Here it comes, right in front of the net. Rodriguez jumps right on it. Read well by Crystal Rodriguez. Turns into an easy stop on the corner kick. And now here come the Fighting Saints. Alexis Mariquin pushes it ahead over on the far side. Back to Natalie Salgado. Salgado chips it towards midfield where it's intercepted by Indiana Northwest. Big kick downfield by Mundo Sweet into the box. And stopped quickly by St. Francis. Janacek pushes it to the sideline and out of bounds. We've got an Indiana Northwest throw-in coming up. The Redhawks finally starting to put a little pressure on the Fighting Saints here. They have worked their way into St. Francis's defensive territory. Elise Mundo Sweet lobs it into the box, quickly cleared by Aguirre, the first Saint to touch that ball, and now St. Francis works the other way. Shar out in front of the pack, but she can't track the ball down. Abigail Heinz on the chase for Indiana Northwest. Neither one of them got to that ball before it trickled out of bounds for a Redhawks throw-in. Right at midfield, far side. Tapped quickly out of bounds. And Indiana Northwest possession halted very quickly. Bryn Nyland was unable to control that ball. Tapped out. So the two teams trade throw-ins. St. Francis takes possession just shy of the midfield circle. Pushed ahead. Off to the right side. Knocked away. A little pinball back and forth, but the Redhawks do take control here. Mackenzie Rainwater steals possession for Indiana Northwest. The Redhawks give it right back. Here comes Vivian Ventura for the Saints. Off to O'Connor. Nice first touch from O'Connor, getting around the first defender into the box. Shar makes a run for it, but Escalera dives on top of it. Well played by the freshman Isabel Escalera. Got there just a shade before Allison Shar could. And for the second time in this first half, Shar and Escalera have a showdown that ends up going the goalkeeper's way. Mia O'Connor had a good scoring chance earlier in the half as well, not yet 10 minutes in. St. Francis has already had 3 good opportunities. Haven't been able to put any of them in yet. But Indiana Northwest is trying to shore up their defense here. O'Connor in possession once again. Can't push it through as it's deflected out by Amanda Cruz. Well defended by Cruz. O'Connor looking for Shar there. Out of bounds to the Fighting Saints. And lobbed back into Shar along the sideline. Tripped up by Amanda Cruz. And it's going St. Francis's way again right here. Shar unable to get around Amanda Cruz as the junior defender stuck her foot out. Foul called right along the sideline. So a free kick for Alexis Mariquin here. Mariquin will try to push this into the box and set up the first goal of the game. Mariquin sends it in with the left foot. Didn't have a teammate on the header there. Ball loose in the box. Shar takes a shot and Escalera deflects it away. Great play by Isabel Escalera. Allison Shar has had some good chances today, and Escalera has saved a couple of them now. Corner kick in the far corner now for the Fighting Saints. Will be taken by Aguirre. Aguirre plays it in short to Salgado. Salgado pushes back into the box looking for Shar, but cleared by Indiana Northwest. Chased back into the midfield by the Fighting Saints. Still trying to keep the offense going. Schaefer knocks it out of bounds. Everybody backs up a little bit into their normal positions, and St. Francis will resume their attack. Rolled into no man's land, and Shar is able to control it for the Fighting Saints at the corner of the box. Trying to find Haley Bartlaga. Deflected away. The ball loose at midfield, and won by Indiana Northwest. Moving towards the near side. A lot of pressure from the St. Francis offense, and O'Connor is able to take it away from Cruz. O'Connor taps it into the box. O'Connor is freed up now right along the back line. The pass is deflected out of bounds by St. Francis. Great chance there, O'Connor to Shar, but Shar's touch was not on goal. Ends up going out for a goal kick. Great work all around there by Mia O'Connor, getting by a few defenders. Found herself in the box, not at an angle to take a shot herself, but she had Allison Shar in front of the net. And Shar was unable to finish it off. First substitution of the game for St. Francis. Azuri Sanchez comes in for Haley Bartlaga. Just about 12 minutes into the action. Mariquin at midfield, passes off to Aguirre. St. Francis goes back to the defensive side. Salgado crosses field to Galvin. Now Galvin starts to move forward across midfield to O'Connor. Mia O'Connor passes to Ventura in the middle of the field. Back to the outside. Pelayo tries to make a run. Cleared out of bounds, though, by Indiana Northwest. Abigail Heinz knocks it out off of a Fighting Saint. Throw in here for the Red Hawks as they try to clear it once again. Indiana Northwest went through a brief moment or two where they were able to put a charge into the St. Francis defense. They got a corner kick out of it, but weren't able to get any good shots off. And since then, we've gone back to St. Francis controlling the pace of this game. Fighting Saints have had 4 or 5 really good opportunities already. On a couple of them, they just misfired on their shots, and a couple times Isabel Escalera has made stops. Escalera's got a couple of nice saves already on the stat sheet Free kick coming up here for the Fighting Saints, just shy of midfield. They restart it quickly over to Emily Galvin. Galvin gets it to the tip of the box. This is Shar working her way into the back line. Shar looking for the cross, gets it on the back end, but Mariquin cannot tap it in. Out of bounds for a goal kick. Substitution now for Jamie McNicholas and Indiana Northwest for the first time. Jamie McNicholas, the head coach of the Red Hawks. Carolina Romero comes in. And Amanda Cruz heads out. A couple of early substitutions. We're not 15 minutes in. Each side has already brought somebody in off the bench. Maybe just trying to keep everybody fresh. It is a warm day. Not oppressively hot, but hotter than you'd expect for this time of year, with temperatures in the mid-80s. Into the box, Rodriguez steps up and plays that ball off the ground. So it's very warm and sunny today. So everybody will get a little extra rest, I think. Drink a little extra water just to stay ready to go down there. Pelayo rolls it out of harm's way as Salgado clears it down the far side of the field. Salgado ahead to Aguirre. Across field, back to the near side. This is Emily Galvin. Galvin finds Vivian Ventura. Saints on the move. Ventura, though, tripped up on the play by Haley Heileck. No whistle. Heileck able to get it across midfield as play continues, but she sent that ball straight out of bounds. Here's Mariquin. Mariquin loses the ball out. Throw-in coming for the Fighting Saints. They're working their way down the field bit by bit. St. Francis is coming off of their best performance of the season, a 5-0 win on Wednesday in the conference opener. Entering that match, they had a 4-1 record, but all 4 wins were by 2-1 scores. So the win in the CCAC opener was the first multi-goal victory of the year for the Fighting Saints. It was the first time they scored more than 2 goals this season. Their defense has been great, trying to pick up on offense, and now they're trying to have that defense hold solid. A shot is off to the left. Rodriguez made the diving effort, but the ball was wide. Kelly Schaefer put herself in a good spot on the field. Couldn't connect with the net. A little bit wide on that attempt, and the game remains scoreless. Galvin is pressured by Taya Rush. Saints are able to get it out of harm's way, and now a little open space in the midfield. Pushed down the field towards Shar, but intercepted. Cleared by Brooke Durkin. Saints try to get it back, but good work by Haley. Heileck keeps the pressure on. Got a little bit away from Heileck on that last touch. Rodriguez steps up and sends it back to her defense. No score after 17.5 minutes. Long way to go between two teams who got off to very different starts to conference play, although very different opponents as well. Olivet Nazarene, always one of the best in the CCAC, is the team that took out Indiana Northwest in their opener. St. Francis was able to feast on a struggling Indiana South Bend team that is still winless on the season. Pelayo in control, off to Ventura, gets it back, now over to Aguirre, working straight down the middle of the pitch. Aguirre ahead for Azuri Sanchez. Now into the box, Shar stays on sides, takes the shot, another stop by Escalera, deflected in front of the net and worked out of bounds by Indiana Northwest. Good play by Abigail Heinz. After Escalera made the initial save, the ball was still loose in front of the net and a chance for a rebound for the Fighting Saints until Heinz jumped in the way and forced it out. So it's a corner kick for St. Francis. Could have been a lot worse, though, for the Red Hawks. We'll see if the Saints can turn this into their first goal. Second chance from the corner for Aguirre today. This time she goes in front of the net. On the backside, deflected and cleared by Indiana Northwest. On the back end of the play, here's Salgado taking a long-range shot, and Salgado pushes it over the net and out of bounds. Crisis averted for Indiana Northwest. Two more chances for the Fighting Saints just before the corner and then on the corner kick. But again, nothing to show for it. Isabel Escalera pushes it off to Kelly Schaefer on the far side of the field. Worked out of bounds. Down the far sideline and controlled on the back end of the play. Janacek passes off to Galvin on the right side. Back over to Janacek. Saints in no hurry this time around. Slowing it down on the defensive side. Indiana Northwest has not forced the pressure yet. Ahead to midfield. It's Mia Okana. Okana makes another nice move with the ball. Gets around Romero. Okana to the outside. Finds Allison Shar. Shar works into the box. Beats Heinz. Can't beat Escalera. Another save by Isabel Escalera on a good shot by Allison Shar. Started with Mia Okana. It's a nice ball work to get around Carolina Romero. She passed it off to Shar, and Shar just a little bit faster than the freshman Heinz for Indiana Northwest. That got Shar in good position to take a shot. Went to the near post with it, and Escalera made a diving save to push it out of bounds. Here's the corner kick. Near side this time. Escalera is the first one to reach that ball, and she smothers it to keep this game tied. 0-0. St. Francis has had a lot more opportunities than Indiana Northwest, but with nothing to show for it yet on the scoreboard. Great first half so far for the freshman goalkeeper, Isabel Escalera. Entering play today, Escalera has made an average of almost 7 saves per match. She's allowed over 2 goals per. She's faced a lot of shots this year, and by and large has done pretty well with them. She certainly has today. We've got a couple of good freshman goalkeepers in this game. St. Francis keeps Indiana Northwest's goalkeeper busy. They may take another shot right here into the box. There it goes to the backside and around the net. Now the net is empty. Escalera dives towards that ball anyway. Another rebound attempt for St. Francis and another deflection. 2 more good chances for the Saints. Nothing goes, and now here come the Redhawks on the counter. Bryn Nyland stopped by Galvin. Nyland tries to force Galvin off the ball, and on the second effort, used a little bit too much of the body. The foul is called. Escalera has been all over the field for Indiana Northwest. Came way out of the net that last time and tried to make a stop. She did make the stop, but left the net wide open. And the Indiana Northwest defense was able to keep St. Francis out. Allison Shar receives that pass in front of the net, but this time she's offsides. We're at the halfway point of this first half, and I think they're going to whistle everybody towards the sideline here. Just few seconds past the exact halfway point, so good time for a water break right now. 22-23 remaining in the first half. So far, to watch the game, it's felt like it's been all St. Francis. But to look at the scoreboard, you wouldn't know it. 0-0. The Saints did win their opener in conference play 5-0, which is a great score no matter who you're playing against. But they took 45 shots in that game. So they certainly had the opportunity to score more than 5 goals in that contest. In a sense, it's a little bit disappointing that they weren't able to add more. In a small sense. In a bigger sense, you don't complain about a 5-0 win. The Saints on the season have outshot their opponents overall 16.5 to 11.5 per game. They have outshot by numbers 99 to 69 entering play today. So today so far has been kind of a microcosm of the season. Their goal scoring numbers are not huge. 8 goals in their first 5 games. You win 4 of those games, you're not going to complain about them, but I know they would like to pick up the offense a little bit. And part of that is just the nature of having a young team. This is a very young team. 5 freshmen and a sophomore in the starting lineup today. They have used as many as 6 freshmen in the lineup on other days. And a lot of times with young players, no matter how good they are, sometimes finishing is the last thing to come. I think that shows in the fact that with all of those shots they were able to get on goal on Wednesday, the one player who scored multiple times was their senior starting up front, Allison Shar. Coming out of the water break, we're ready to continue. Clock running once again, down from about 22 and a half minutes. St. Francis at midfield. Intercepted by Bryn Nyland. Galvin pushes it down the near side at Shar. Allison Shar in the circle, knocked off of her foot. Here come the Redhawks. It's been a long time since Indiana Northwest has made a run at the net. They had one good scoring chance, Kelly Schaefer, early in the game. Ended up losing it out of bounds, turned into a corner kick. St. Francis making another chance right here. Just one defender in the way. Shar in the middle of the field, taps it ahead, and offsides is called. Sanchez sent it ahead to Shar and then streaked towards the net, but a little bit too quickly. So Sanchez, after receiving that ball back from Shar, was offsides, and another goal-scoring opportunity for St. Francis does not result in this scoreless tie being broken. It remains 0-0 as the goal kick is sent away by the Redhawks. And as has been the case all afternoon, the Saints take it away after one touch, and now they're on the run again. Okana works her way into the box. Okana looking for the cross, chips it towards the back post, and doesn't have Sanchez on the other end there. Amanda Spitalniak on the defense right there against Mia Okana. Still no score as the clock begins to approach 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Saints steal possession again off of the goal kick. Shar ahead for Sanchez. Sanchez, one touch into the box, in traffic, and knocked off of her foot. Good defense by Abigail Heinz, and Heinz pushes it across midfield, only briefly though. Andrea Aguirre takes it right back. Missed opportunity on the tackle from Kelly Schaefer. St. Francis holds possession ahead for Shar, and knocked away by Heinz once again. Spitalniak trying to clear it. The foul is called on St. Francis. Free kick here for the Redhawks. Indiana Northwest is doing a good job of hanging around here. Trying here in the latter stage of the second half to just make one good play and take a lead or take advantage of one St. Francis mistake. There haven't been many of them on the defensive side so far in this for the Fighting Saints. Okana gets around Carolina Romero, loses it off the pass. Galvin there for the interception. Takes it right away from Sanford. Aguirre is knocked to the ground. Foul called on Haley Heilich. One of several freshmen starting for Indiana Northwest. They are a very young team as well. 4 freshman starters for them. 3 sophomores were in the lineup today for the Redhawks, so 7 of their 11 starters are in their first 2 years of college. Passed out to Okana. Okana in front of the net. Shar takes the shot way too high and out of bounds over the crossbar. It's been the recipe to a lot of the shots that the Fighting Saints have gotten today. O'Connor working around a few defenders on the near side, crossing it to Allison Shar, and Shar so far hasn't been able to finish any of these opportunities off. She keeps getting them, though. That dam is bound to break at some point. Indiana Northwest is trying to shore up their defense and prevent quite so many opportunities. Mentioned the numbers earlier about how well St. Francis has played offensively this year, just in terms of outshooting their opposition. The opposite has been true for Indiana Northwest. Shots per game for St. Francis this year is a +5. For Indiana Northwest, it's -5. They average just 10 shots a game. Their opponents right around 15. Here's Shar breaking free of one defender, being chased from behind, gets it into the box, frees herself up for the shot, off the post, and it rolls out of bounds. Nearly had it right there. Said rolled out of bounds, actually rolled into the hands of Isabella Scalera inbounds. That one couldn't have missed by more than an inch or two. It got the inside of the post, and oftentimes when you see a ball hit the inside of the post like that, it'll deflect across the line. This time it kind of hugged that line and rolled back towards the goalkeeper. Escalera was able to make the stop, but just missed the correct angle to get that shot in net. Nice run there by Allison Shar. Got by two defenders in order to take that shot and came up just wide, about as close as you could possibly get to being on target. Just missed it. Now here come the Fighting Saints on another quick run. It's Shar once again, this time going against Abigail Heinz. Heinz makes the initial stop. Shar remains in possession, though, keeps it in bounds, and now it's deflected out. And we'll get a corner kick for the Fighting Saints. That very nearly turned into a goal kick. Allison Shar was right on that back line, somehow kept it in bounds. Again by inches. This time in the positive sense for the Fighting Saints. Sets up a corner kick instead of a goal kick. The ball is set up by Aguirre over on the far side. Fourth corner kick of the afternoon for the Fighting Saints. Towards the back side, Heileck knocks it towards the near sideline and out of bounds. So the Redhawks come up with the initial stop. We'll see if there's another wave here from St. Francis. Galvin gets it into Ventura. Back to Emily Galvin. Now Ventura freed up on the sideline. Pushes it ahead for Azuri Sanchez, and Sanchez is fouled. Both Spitalniak and Heileck were right there. There was contact from both of them. So the ball is set up about 27 yards out on the right side of the net for Andrea Aguirre. Aguirre, the only one behind the ball, approaches it, takes the shot, and it's way over the net and out of bounds. Shot from St. Francis does not go through. She decided to put it towards the target herself rather than look for the pass there, and just got it too high as Indiana Northwest brings in another sub. Mariah Dickerson this time. Indiana Northwest has not been able to complete too many passes on these goal kicks. St. Francis has been taking the ball away on the attacking side of the field pretty consistently. Creates a much shorter field for them. A lot harder for Indiana Northwest to defend, which they've been doing all game. They've been on the defensive, and yet we remain tied. Galvin downfield, both Shar and O'Connor there with the pair of defenders. Shar keeps it in bounds. Keeps play going. Shar down the back line, rolls it in front of the net. Knocked off the foot of Sanchez. Sanchez gets it back, passes over to her left. Far side of the field, the shot Goes wide and out of bounds from Mariquin. So many opportunities for the Fighting Saints so far, and they're just missing. Cicely Porter now in for Indiana Northwest. Jamie McNicholas really cycling his players here in the first half. Pelayo wins that ball for the Fighting Saints. Tossed back to Aguirre. Indiana Northwest carries it the other way. This is Porter. Porter working her way along the sideline and finally falls out of bounds. Each run for Indiana Northwest lately has kind of had the air of desperation to it. Just trying to turn one big move into a good shot, because unlike the Fighting Saints, they have not been able to get into any consistent rhythm offensively. Galvin down along the sideline ahead of Shar. Heinz beats Shar to the ball, and we've got a foul going the other way. Shar a little too aggressive going after that ball in the battle with Abigail Heinz. So Heinz wins that battle. And with just over 12 minutes left, it's a free kick for Indiana Northwest. Substitute comes on for St. Francis. Sophomore midfielder Sandy Garcia is in for Ishel Pelayo. Free kick clears midfield, where Ventura quickly touches it first and loses it off that first touch to Indiana Northwest. Here comes Schaefer. Schaefer in a sea of white shirts. Loses the ball pretty quickly. Got deep into the attacking zone there, but not able to do anything with it as they lost it almost immediately. Here's Garcia. Garcia has the ball knocked away by Mackenzie Rainwater. Rainwater down the far side trying to find Bryn Nyland. Too far out in front of Nyland. And controlled by Crystal Rodriguez, who was involved early but hasn't had a whole lot to do of late. There go the Fighting Saints on the far side of the field. Long run for Shar towards the corner. The whistle blows from the far side. It'll go Indiana Northwest's way. Offsides, I believe, against St. Francis. Free kick for the Red Hawks with under 11 minutes to play in the first half. Down the middle of the field in front of Schaefer. Schaefer tries to reach that ball before it goes out and can't do it. It's going to be a corner kick for Indiana Northwest. Schaefer wanted to keep the play alive, but she'll take the consolation here. She'll try to set up one of her teammates. Schaefer has scored almost all of the goals for Indiana Northwest. 5 out of 6 this season. She doesn't have an assist. Here she's trying to set somebody else up in front of the net. Airmailed everybody and going out of bounds towards the backside. That's out for a goal kick. Right in the corner. It did go out the back line before it reached the sideline. So a nice break for St. Francis there. They go short with the goal kick. Okana taps it towards the middle of the pitch and passes it off to Garcia. Garcia can't maintain possession. Here's Nyland. Nyland's cross off the foot, just slightly deflected right there by Schaefer. Indiana Northwest gets it back into the box. Schaefer in front of the net, taps it once. Too many defenders in the way, and cleared by the Fighting Saints as the whistle blows. It'll go St. Francis's way on a free kick here. So the Fighting Saints defense does its job. They haven't been asked to do a lot today. The Red Hawks attack has been largely dormant. But when their number was called, their numbers, I guess, were called, St. Francis's defenders were ready to go. Good stop. Red Hawks will try to make another go at it right here. Porter heads it off to Nyland. Bryn Nyland, one touch trying to get around Galvin. Can't. And Galvin knocks it out. Good defense by Emily Galvin. Rainwater steps into the throw, immediately cleared by the Saints. Here comes St. Francis. Full head of steam behind him. Sent out in front of the box. Nice move by Mariquin to get around the goalkeeper. Takes the shot and scores. Isabel Escalera has been coming out of the net all game, and that time came out a little bit too far as Mariquin got to that ball well before Escalera did. One touch by Alexis Mariquin to get around the keeper, and then she had a wide open net. And this time she makes Indiana Northwest pay with 8:21 to play in the first half. St. Francis scores the first goal. Belongs to the junior, Alexis Mariquin. And it just felt like a matter of time before the Saints would be able to break through. They've finally done so. Alexis Mariquin's first goal of the season. She had 1 assist coming in, so 3 points for her now. Here's Allison Schar, knocked away by Heinz out of bounds. Mariquin coming in ranked 3rd on the team in both overall shots and shots on goal, but had just 1 point. Into the box a little bit too high for Azuri Sanchez, cleared by the Redhawks. So it's good to see her triple that point total in just 1 move. Beautiful goal scored by Alexis Mariquin. Saints trying to make it a multi-goal lead before halftime. Mia Okana down to the corner. Okana tries to turn her way towards the center of the field, but dribbles it straight out of bounds for a goal kick. At midfield, bounds past a couple of defenders. Indiana Northwest is able to take possession off of this goal kick, but they lose it just as quickly. Cleared by Heinz down the middle of the field. Saints on a run again. Too far out in front of both Schar and Okana. Escalera punts it away. One bounce knocked away by the Saints. Redhawks get it back. Looking for the equalizer here. It's Porter. Porter is tackled off the ball. Nyland takes the shot, and an easy pickup for Crystal Rodriguez as it rolls harmlessly into her hands. Garcia off to Allison Schar, playing a little further back now. Out of bounds on the Fighting Saints. Nice work by Okana as play continues. Okana ahead to Allison Schar. Schar trying to beat Heinz. She's out in front of her, and Heinz pushes her from behind. Just outside of the box, no penalty here. But a free kick from only about 20 yards away for the Fighting Saints coming up. Schar had Heinz beat right there. And the only chance was for Heinz to force her down, so she gets the yellow card. Free kick will be taken from just to the right side by Alexis Mariquin. The first goal scorer of the game. Mariquin will get another opportunity right here. 3 defenders out in front of her. The kick taken in front of the net and brought down by Isabel Escalera. Escalera saves that shot from Alexis Mariquin, who's trying to make this one a brace after not having scored in the first 6 goals of the season. Mackenzie Rainwater pushes downfield, bounces into the box, and allows Janacek to give way to Crystal Rodriguez, who picks it up. Okana along the near sideline. Able to touch it first, get that ball away from Romero. Now Okana is free in the box. Mia Okana takes the shot, and it goes wide to the left. Looked like a shot from Okana, kind of in between the net and Allison Shar, though. And it's hard to tell if she was trying to score, if she was trying to set up Shar. It was directly in between the two of them, and she maybe was a little bit caught up in between as well, prevented her from doubling this lead. Okana's done that a few times today. Great ball work to get around defenders, just hasn't been able to finish things off in an open box. Over on the far side of the field, the ball trickles out of bounds.
St. Francis goal scored by number 10, Alexis Maraquin. Her first goal of the season, assist to Vivian Maturo at 36-39. Maraquin, her first goal of the season, 1-0 St. Francis.
Another throw-in coming up for Indiana Northwest here with just under 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Fighting Saints clutching a 1-goal lead. They took it just a few minutes ago after a pretty dominant first half in which their chances to score have far outnumbered Indiana Northwest's chances. They were finally able to break through with the Maraquin goal in the 37th minute. And have had a few opportunities to even add one since then. That hasn't happened, but they're in control of the ball again here. They try to play a little keep away from Indiana Northwest. Galvin with nobody around her. Tries to get it ahead to Shar, deflected away. But Sandy Garcia is there for the Fighting Saints. Now Shar again. Knocked out of bounds by Brooke Durkin. Shar around the defender. There's the cross to the back post. Too high for Maraquin. Out of bounds on the far sideline. Again, good ball work from Allison Shar. She's not quite able to finish by connecting with a teammate in the box. Sent in towards Shar. Headed away to the back line and out of bounds. Corner kick coming up for the Fighting Saints. After Abigail Heinz couldn't keep that ball in. They go short this time. Shar works with Aguirre. Aguirre takes the long-range shot and misses it out of bounds for a goal kick. Aguirre and Shar combined to create that opportunity. Nothing doing for the Fighting Saints. Their lead remains 1-0. Approaching the final minute of the half. Bounces past Schaefer, the attacker, down the field for Indiana Northwest. Back to the Fighting Saints, Okana.
1 minute to play in the period.
Garcia loses it to Indiana Northwest, and the Redhawks push that ball quickly out of bounds. With under a minute to play, St. Francis can pretty much assure that Indiana Northwest won't have a chance to tie the score just by holding on to the ball. But they're going to keep trying to push and extend their lead to 2-0. Foul called. No foul called. Play continues. Here's Galvin down the middle of the field, headed away. Just 25 seconds left. If the Saints do want to add that second goal, they've got to strike very quickly here. Maraquin, good ball work, sends it in front of the net, and it's deflected towards the goalkeeper, Escalera. And that should end the first half of play. We're down under 10 seconds. This punt should put a bow around the first 45 minutes of action. It bounces into St. Francis territory, and they let play stop right there. So it is halftime here in Joliet, and after one half, St. Francis has a 1-goal lead. Fighting Saints had a lot of chances to make this a 2-3, 4-0 game, but their defense has held up their end of the bargain, holding Indiana Northwest scoreless. And so after 45 minutes, even though the lead is not as big as it could be, I think the Fighting Saints are very happy with the way all of that went. 15 minutes on the clock for halftime. I'll be back at the end of that 15-minute period to get you ready for half number 2 as St. Francis tries to pick up their third consecutive win. Second half coming up in about 15 minutes here on the USF Sports Network. It's St. Francis and Indiana Northwest at the intermission. Halftime here in Joliet. We're about set to start the second half between University of St. Francis and Indiana University Northwest. Fighting Saints have a 1-0 lead over the Red Hawks so far, but it could be a lot more. They had a lot of opportunities in the first half. They outshot Indiana Northwest 16-2 in the first half. 6 shots on goal for the Fighting Saints, but Isabel Escalera, the freshman goalkeeper for the Red Hawks, has done a very nice job so far today. She's made 5 saves. Maybe just one mistake, and that was on the one goal of the game in the 37th minute. Alexis Mariquin got a feed from Vivian Ventura and was able to get in just outside the box from a good distance with Escalera closing in. Escalera came out a little bit too far and wasn't able to get to the ball to put a stop to Mariquin's shot, but left the net open. And so Mariquin was able to score her first goal of the season. Saints had a few more chances after that, but were not able to capitalize on them. So they're very happy to have the 1-goal lead. They could easily be up by a lot more than the 1 goal. But so far, Indiana Northwest has not really threatened. Crystal Rodriguez has not had to make a save just yet. 2 shots for the Redhawks, neither one on goal. We're underway in half number 2. Azuri Sanchez still on the field for St. Francis, and they have brought in their 6th freshman of the day. Susie Diaz is out there to start half number 2 as well. Diaz, Sandy Garcia, and Azuri Sanchez were the only 3 subs used by the Saints in the first half. Indiana Northwest brought in Spitalniak, Porter, Dickerson, Romero, and Rush, all at different stages in the first half, and they begin the second stanza here with mostly the same players out there. Romero remains on the field after she played the majority, actually, of that first half. Rush is out there as well. Taya Rush played the latter stages of the first half for Indiana Northwest, but both coaches have been fairly liberal with their substitutions. Jamie McNicholas, in particular, brought in a lot of subs early in the first half. It is a warmer than usual day. I think both guys are trying to keep their players fresh. Saints make their first run of the second half down the far sideline. Mia Okana looking for help over the middle. Has Allison Shar, and Shar can't quite push it in. Still in front of the net. Dangerous play for Elise Mundo Sweet, but she's able to get it away from Alexis Mariquin and clear it for the moment out towards midfield. Abby Janacek sends it forward for the Fighting Saints. Sanchez can't get there for the Saints. Indiana Northwest knocks it free. Saints moving once again. Here's Andrea Aguirre. Passing back to the defensive side, Emily Galvin. 2 minutes into the second half. Trying to start something once again for St. Francis. Off the foot of Palaio and knocked out of bounds by Sanford of Indiana Northwest. Second half beginning much as the first half was played out. Saints on the offensive. In the last 3 halves of soccer that they played, their conference opener against Indiana South Bend on Wednesday, and then the first 45 minutes of today, they have combined to outshoot their opponents 61-4. Here's another chance for Mariquin in the box. Mariquin shoots, it's wide to the right. Great chance for Mariquin to score her 2nd goal of the game, but pushed it a little bit too far off to the right side of the net. And the score remains 1-0. Here's Mundo Sweet for Indiana Northwest, knocked away by Mariquin. And we're going the other way with it. Free kick here for the Red Hawks. St. Francis would feel a lot more comfortable with a 2-goal lead. For as much as they have outplayed Indiana Northwest today, anytime you're tied, as we were for most of the first half, or ahead by 1 goal, all it takes is 1 mistake, 1 fluke play, 1 good shot from a Red Hawk, and it's a completely different game. If you can extend that lead to 2 goals, you don't worry about that 1 fluke play anymore. Down the far sideline, a chance for Azuri Sanchez in front of the net. Allison Shard takes the shot into the side of the net and out of bounds. Shar has been very active today. 6 shots for the senior forward in the first half. Mariquin was right behind her with 4, so the two players combined for 10 of the 16 shots taken. Just 1 shot for Mia Okana, who doesn't show up quite as often on the score sheet. She was very active in that first half. She set up quite a few of those attempts that nearly went. Takeaway for the Red Hawks. Pushed off to the far sideline. Here's Carolina Romero ahead to Schaefer. Schaefer working hard to get control at the edge of the box. She's knocked to the ground and a foul is called. She is outside the penalty area. So the foul against Abby Janacek will not result in a penalty kick, just barely. The ball is set up less than a yard outside. So here's what I was talking about with the 1-goal lead. Opportunities there. One big kick here from Schaefer could even up the score. It's deflected on the rebound. The shot is saved by Rodriguez. A diving play made by Crystal Rodriguez to keep the shutout intact. Best chance of the game for Indiana Northwest. The free kick was deflected, but on the second chance, they were nearly able to get one in. Rodriguez steps up for the Fighting Saints and makes her first save of the afternoon. She had a shutout going, but anytime you do have a shutout, you want to make sure you earn it. She's got at least 1 save on the ledger now. Galvin rolls it over to Aguirre. 6 minutes gone in the second half. No score since the break. 1-0 St. Francis leads for the day. Fighting Saints have certainly gotten used to playing in these tight contests. They have 1 5-0 win and 1 4-0 loss among their 6 games played this year, but all of the others were 2-1 finals. So 4 1-goal games this year out of 6 chances. All of them have been wins. Here come the Red Hawks. Schaefer on the left side. Schaefer sends it towards the net, out in front of the net. Not able to hook up with Sanford, so the ball goes out of bounds. Sanford halted on that attack. No shot for Indiana Northwest. They take it away again right here. Hylek over to Sanford. Ball intercepted in the middle of the field by Ventura. And out in front of the net, cleared by Janacek. Here's Allison Shar on the wrong side of midfield, tapped back. She'll let the defense control things here. Aguirre downfield, headed the other direction. Redhawks try to make a run here. Their midfielder, Carolina Romero, looks to center it. Intercepted by the Saints, but right back to the team in red. Here comes Mundo Sweets. Mundo Sweets' kick is deflected the wrong way. And we've got a whistle here. Foul called on the Fighting Saints, so a free kick for Indiana Northwest. This one a little bit further out than their previous attempt. Still in good range, though, here for their sophomore scorer, Kelly Schaefer. 5 goals on the season for Schaefer. Looking for number 6. She's well wide to the left. Not happy with herself after that kick. Didn't get it the way that she wanted to. This chance for Indiana Northwest. They've had a lot more opportunities here in the second half than they did in the first already. We're not even 9 minutes in. But that has not flipped what we've seen on the scoreboard. Namely, St. Francis leading. Out of bounds on the sideline, far side of the field. Okana could not tiptoe and keep that one in. Romero has it for Indiana Northwest, able to shake loose of the first defender. Got by Galvin the first time, but the second time around, Galvin takes the ball off her foot. Good challenge by Emily Galvin. Indiana Northwest has it back. On the near sideline, that's Sanford. Clearing the defender into the box. Schaefer works her way around two St. Francis players, but cannot penetrate that wall of defenders. Schaefer finally loses the ball, and St. Francis takes it away and gets the free kick on the foul. Aguirre's kick right down the middle of the field, ahead to Shar, and ahead of Shar. Mariquin tries to capitalize that on the end of the play, but Escalera is there to pick it up. Here's Galvin turning back behind her. No attackers there for Indiana Northwest, so she just creates a little bit of space. Now works it forward from the defensive side. Shar down the sideline to Okana, who could not stay on sides. Mia Okana is offsides, and we've got a free kick coming up for Indiana Northwest. The offensive momentum has stalled for St. Francis. Now it's Indiana Northwest forcing the action. Redhawks still trail by one. Looking for that equalizer for the last 18 minutes or so. Galvin on defense, down the sideline, pushed right back the other way. Down the sideline, Romero tracks it down. Romero's cross is picked off by Crystal Rodriguez. Nice read by Rodriguez there, jumping in front of the attackers. No shot in front of the net for Indiana Northwest. Bouncing down the field, Mundo Sweet gets it into the middle, ahead for Brisa Sanford, and tapped away and out of bounds by Susie Diaz. Fired in down the sideline off of Mariquin, right back out. Knocked out of bounds off of the Fighting Saints. 11.5 minutes have gone by. 1-0, St. Francis has the lead. With a little bit more than a half hour still to play in this game. Fighting Saints looking for their 6th win in 7 tries. Tapped into the middle field. Romero nearly had herself an open look, but Aguirre knocks it away. And Andrea Aguirre takes it the other way, shadowed by Kelly Schaefer. She's able to push it away from Schaefer down to the far sideline. Here's Allison Shar. Shar slows it down back to Emily Galvin. Ventura knocked to the ground. They play on, and now there's a whistle, and a foul goes against Ventura. She and Bryn Nyland got tangled up. Nyland knocked Ventura to the ground initially. Vivian Ventura got back up, and she yanked at Bryn Nyland, and so she got called for the foul, but Nyland's defense on that play prevented what looked like a solid run for the Fighting Saints. Here's Alexis Mariquin on the near sideline. Mariquin racing down the line, pulls back out, working around Elise Mundo Sweet, creates a little space, down to the corner, gets by Mundo Sweet with that touch, now passed in front of the net, deflected towards Escalera, and Escalera picks it up. Nearly disaster for Indiana Northwest. But Escalera was able to prevent the own goal. Still 1-0. Ventura called for another foul. Trying to blow by Carolina Romero. She clipped Romero, called for the foul. Free kick for Indiana Northwest. Sails right down the middle of the field. Deflected over to Sanford. Sanford's pass is intercepted. Saints trying to clear it, and they do for the moment, but pushed right back the other way by Kayla Zeal. Dribbling it outside the box on the far side of the field. Janacek gives it a big boot to clear it down the middle. Heights to the left. There's the cross in front of the net. Turn, a shot from Schaefer. Rodriguez dives and knocks it away and falls on top of it. So a shot from Kelly Schaefer. Rodriguez able to make the stop. I don't know if that was on goal or not. It's hard to tell from this angle. That's bounced down the field. Long run for Shar. Escalera waits back on it and plays that ball into her hands. Escalera came out a lot farther earlier prior to the goal. That time she waited back a little bit more, recognized that she still had the inside track on getting to that ball before Shar did. I don't know if she was influenced at all by the first goal she gave up on what turned out to be an empty net. The previous play down the field on the other side, Schaefer had what was maybe the second best scoring chance of the game for Indiana Northwest following that free kick we saw earlier where they nearly put one in. Rodriguez made a nice diving play. It was hard to tell, though, if that ball was on target or not. It might have been on the post or just wide. And still, you're not going to fault your goalie for making a nice stop on the ball, diving on top of it. Natalie Salgado is back in. Ishel Palayo sits down for the second time today. And Salgado goes right to work, throwing it in. Cleared back to Salgado. Dribbled out of bounds by Sanford. Here's Diaz. Diaz tips it over to Sanchez. Azuri Sanchez to the middle of the field. Cleared by the Redhawks, far side. And they watch it go out of bounds. Out of bounds this time on St. Francis. Well played by Taya Rush. Sub coming on for Indiana Northwest. Mariah Dickerson enters for Rush. Dickerson played briefly in the first half, so it's her second appearance today. Here's Susie Diaz. Diaz rolls to the outside. It's Natalie Salgado. Salgado tries to weave her way between a couple of defenders on the pass. Knocked out of bounds, though, by the team in red. It's going to be a throw-in from down in the corner. Well, they're giving Fighting Saints a corner kick now. I thought that one went out the sideline, not the back line, but apparently not. So another corner kick for the Fighting Saints. This is their sixth of the game. Aguirre past the net, cleared by Indiana Northwest. Diaz from long range, caught by Escalera. Fighting Saints slowed down here is Elise Mundo Sweet. Is able to jump the passing lanes, clear it. We got offsides on Indiana Northwest. Schaefer was offsides when that ball was kicked. So even though she came back on in order to touch the ball, she was already off. The flag was already in the air. Here's Andrea Aguirre's free kick right down the center of the field. Headed away by Indiana Northwest. Back to the midfield circle. Salgado passes ahead of her. Over to Aguirre. Aguirre back into the middle. Rolls it off to the right. Sanchez, one touch to the outside. O'Connor tries to work her way in, looking for the cross. Doesn't have it. The ball loose in the goal area, but cleared by Indiana Northwest. O'Connor just went in a little bit too deep that time. Didn't really have a bailout plan. So the Saints are unable to add to their lead. Still up 1-0. A whistle here against St. Francis. Off the kick, Crystal Rodriguez able to pull it in following the Emily Galvin yellow card. St. Francis on the counterattack here. Pushed ahead by Ventura, looking for Azuri Sanchez. And Sanchez can't quite reach it. A little bit too far out in front of her. Aguirre out to Mariquin. Here's Salgado, can't blow by Brisa Sanford. Sent forward again by Indiana Northwest. Schaefer off to Romero. Down the sideline for Schaefer once again. Schaefer turns, tries to get it back towards the center. There's the cross to the far side and a little bit too far. Indiana Northwest looking for offense anywhere they can get it. Schaefer has been their go-to player. Mentioned it before, she's got 5 of the team's 6 goals this year. The other one was scored by Kayla Zeal, who has had a very quiet game today. Free kick on the far side will be taken by Mackenzie Rainwater. Rainwater with the right foot bounces it towards the back line and easily picked up by Rodriguez. St. Francis hasn't had nearly as many attacks here in the second half. Credit to the defense of Indiana Northwest. They've been solid, and they've been much more aggressive as well. They only took 2 shots in the first half. They did that in just the first couple of minutes of the second half. Heinz passes it off. Headed away by St. Francis. And there's a clearance from Salgado. Headed once again into the box and cleared out of bounds by Abby Janacek. Substitution coming on for Indiana Northwest. Janice Oprisco is going to come in, but I think she'll come in after the stoppage here. It's another water break. They'll stop the clock and let everybody head off to the sideline to get a quick drink before continuing play. We're at the halfway point of the second half. On a warm day today, they're putting a few extra breaks in so everybody can get a drink. 1-0, St. Francis holds the lead at the exact halfway point of this second half. The Fighting Saints have not scored in the second half. Their lone goal came in the 37th minute. Late in the first half, Alexis Mariquin put in her first of the year. And that finally opened things up after it seemed like St. Francis was just getting chance after chance after chance and not finishing. So the hope at the time was with that one goal, all of a sudden everything would burst forth offensively. It hasn't happened that way. Instead, the first half finished very much the way it had played up to that point, which is to say a lot of good work in the midfield, a lot of good chances, but no goals for the Fighting Saints. The second half hasn't been quite so dominant. Indiana Northwest, I think you can make the argument, has had the best offensive opportunities of the second half, but They haven't been able to capitalize on any of them. Very similar to the way the Saints played in the first half. Here, though, St. Francis has the opportunity to get one more goal, which wouldn't necessarily put the game away, but it would certainly go a long way towards doing that. So the coaches are using the water break as a little bit of an extra timeout, talking strategy on the sidelines right now. They'll be back out there in a moment. We are at the exact halfway point, 22 minutes, 30 seconds gone. 22 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this second half. Game one of a doubleheader for the University of St. Francis today. Their men's soccer team will take on the Indiana Northwest men's team right after this one is over. St. Francis won their conference opener. So far, they have not allowed a goal in conference play. 6-0 is their overall lead in the two games. They beat Indiana South Bend 5-0 on Wednesday. A narrow lead today, 1-0. Players return to the field. Trying to remember now what happened just before the break. I think we're going to get an Indiana Northwest throw-in. Oh, and finally a chance for Janice Aprisco to enter the game. Brisa Sanford takes a seat. Aprisco was coming in just before they called for that water break. So now she is able to enter. And the Redhawks will toss it back in play. Fired off the foot of a St. Francis player, and the Saints are looking for the counterattack. Sanchez ahead to Shar. Allison Shar is on the move. Shar dribbles all the way into the box. The defender chasing her down. And out of bounds. Good pursuit from Bryn Nyland. Tracking her the entire way, and she caught up at just the last second. Able to force Shar to hit it out of bounds. It's not even a corner kick. We've got a goal kick here. Saints not able to get anything off of that counterattack. Trying to get something going here. Shar drifts off sides. She'll have to get herself back behind the defense. Here's Mariquin receiving the pass from Sanchez. Mariquin passes to the middle. It's Mia Okana tapping it back. Well defended so far by the Redhawks. They're not giving the Saints an inch here. Nice save by Escalera off the shot from Aguirre. From a long way out there, Escalera is able to read it the whole way and make a diving play. So each team has seen its goalkeeper make a diving play to keep the score where it is. 1-0. Seventh corner kick of the day for St. Francis. And they've all kind of worked out the same. Nothing happening there. It went straight out of bounds, untouched by anybody. Makes it a goal kick now. So Indiana Northwest dips into their bench one more time. Carice Ura is in. On the defense for Indiana Northwest, they're able to win possession momentarily. Ventura fights to get it back, but loses that fight. Back at midfield, and now St. Francis does have possession as the ball stays in bounds. Back towards the middle. And out to Salgado. Salgado taps it ahead a little bit too softly as she was trying to find Mariquin. Schaefer passes to her left. Sent in towards the net, looking for Schaefer again. Salgado touches it first. Didn't get a clean kick on it the first time, so she did it again. weak roller in front of the net. Puts an end to that run. Trying to find help. She just couldn't there. Here's Allison Shar helping out the Saints. Shar down to the back line, keeps it in bounds for the moment. Trying to make a move around Nyland. Nyland holding steady the whole way. Here's the pass in front of the net. Chipped out of harm's way by the Red Hawks. Schaefer tries to get it ahead, but Galvin stands in her way. Emily Galvin knocks it back to her goalkeeper, and she restarts play. Here's Aguirre. Nice work by Aguirre to get around the first defender. In front of the net, Ventura takes the shot and couldn't get anything on it. Escalera makes the save. Good setup. Nice look for Vivian Ventura. She hesitated before getting that shot off, though, and by the time she actually did take it, there just wasn't anything on it. An easy stop for Escalera. Another chance here for the Saints. Deflected out of bounds. St. Francis throw-in. With 17 and a half minutes to go, St. Francis is trying to essentially put this game away with one goal. Near side, here's Salgado. Saints are keeping just one defender back on the other side of midfield. And that shot goes out of bounds. Not particularly close on that attempt, but they keep taking those attempts. Keep trying to apply the pressure to Indiana Northwest. They haven't felt it as much in this second half. Indiana Northwest has largely controlled the game second half, but not to the extent that they've created a lot of good scoring opportunities for themselves. Michelle Pelayo is back in for the Fighting Saints. Mia Okana and Azori Sanchez grab a seat. Pelayo's first touch since re-entering is off to her left. Good tackle by Nyland to knock the ball away. Neither side able to maintain possession here. We'll see if that changes with Indiana Northwest. Schaefer out in front of the defense, was not offsides apparently, but was not able to reach the ball either. Crystal Rodriguez got to it first and just scooped it up. Another chance for Shar. Allison Shar, long run, and too far, it's out of bounds. Goal kick here for Isabel Escalera. Escalera's had a very busy day. She's made a lot of saves, but it's been a lot busier than that. The saves numbers do not tell nearly the whole story, although again, they are good saves numbers. She's only allowed the one goal. Here come the Fighting Saints on defense. Aguirre to her left, near side, Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin hesitates for a moment. Now towards the middle of the field. And we've got a whistle over here against Indiana Northwest along the sideline. St. Francis will get a free kick. That was prior putting the ball into the box. So Aguirre will do the honors here. 30 yards back, well to the left of the net. Andrea Aguirre goes towards the back post. Was that tipped? Yeah, I think it was tipped out of bounds by Isabel Escalera. Didn't look like it was going on goal, but Escalera didn't want to take any chances. So she reached her hand up, got it off the fingertips, and it's out now for a corner kick from the other side of the field for the Fighting Saints. This time it's Marigwin taking the kick, headed away. Here comes Indiana Northwest, 2-on-3. One of those three defenders, Natalie Salgado, steps in the way, knocks the ball free. That allows a few more people to get back on defense, but they didn't really need them because a quick takeaway immediately following the juggle. There's Marigwin. On the near side, Haley Bartlaga. Bartlaga posting up, passes back to Marigwin. Over to Bartlaga, just shy of the box, now into the box. This is Ventura. Vivian Ventura into the middle of the field, a little bit behind the intended target, and the shot goes wide. That's Pelayo off the feet from Ventura. Ventura's pass, as I said before, a little bit behind Ishel Pelayo. Not a perfect pass. Was not able to set up the shot they were hoping for. They'll run a little clock here. They bring a few substitutions onto the field. Claudia Hernandez is out there for the first time. Salgado gets another breather after she rested much of the start of the first half. On the sideline, it rolls out of bounds. St. Francis throw. And another sub for the Fighting Saints. Mia Okana got just a short breather. She's back in. Aguirre is out. Hard to believe right now. This is still just a one-goal game. There's no doubt that Jamie McNicholas is really going to fight to get this game tied up in the late minutes. So neither team is pulling their starters just because it's late in a blowout. Certainly not that. I mean, it is late in the game, but it's been a close one. Okana off her foot, taps it back. This is Okana again. Nobody picks her up. Now finally somebody does come racing in. It's Porter. She passes off to the right. Shot is deflected before it gets to the net. Out of bounds to the Fighting Saints. Still trying to keep that momentum pushing forward. Indiana Northwest has had a bang-up game defensively, and Escalera steps in again. Rolls out of the hands of Escalera and out of bounds. One of the Fighting Saints got involved when she shouldn't have been. You're not allowed to touch the ball or the goalkeeper while the goalkeeper has the ball. So even if that had rolled in, it wouldn't have been a goal. The clock continues to run. Play goes on. And it is that aforementioned free kick. Ventura taps it back. Near side for St. Francis once again. It's Okana. Great move by Okana. Beats the defender, gets into the box. Shard takes the left-footed shot, and a nice save by Escalera. Just a great play all around. Beautiful ball work by Okana to set it up, and a nice pass as well. Shar was in good position with a defender in her way. On her inside, she took the shot with the left foot from the outside. It looked like a good shot this time, just an even better save by Isabel Escalera. She punches it over the net. So coming out of the corner kick, there's a ball that goes out of bounds on the Fighting Saints. We'll get a free kick here. Foul called on Rush on the play. Final 9 minutes of play here. 1-goal lead for St. Francis, but it feels like Indiana Northwest has a long way to go. One more goal right here from the Fighting Saints would pretty much eliminate that feeling. Give them the feeling of victory. The kick is a soft looper, headed away from the net. Diaz's shot is deflected right back towards her. Off to the sideline and out of bounds. Again, with a 2-goal lead, everything would be a little bit different right now. With a 2-goal lead, the Saints might just be slowing things down on balls out of bounds like that. They're not at the moment. Just the shot from Shar goes out of bounds. Excuse me, that shot came from Litzy Mendez. No, that's not right. I had it as Shar. I think that's correct. Litzy Mendez listed as number 15. Hasn't seen any action yet this year. Today is not going to be the day, I don't think. It's not. I know. Cleared by Indiana Northwest. Every clearance is a big one at this stage. Late enough right now. They can absolutely not afford to give up another goal. Not able to clear it this time. Here comes Vivian Ventura. Ventura to her left, passes off to Shar. Shar tries to turn it towards the goal, but is tackled right there. Back and forth game for St. Francis. This is Claudia Hernandez. She reverses to the right, so back and forth right and center now instead of left and center. Here come the Fighting Saints. Nice run for Alexis Mariquin. She's got a little bit of space in front of her. There's the cross. Actually, a shot there from Mariquin, it looked like. And Escalera is there to make the catch. Under 6.5 minutes remaining. Redhawks working a little bit faster right now. A little more purpose to each one of their kicks. Amanda Cruz and Brisa Sanford are both back in for the Redhawks. Couple of starters returning to the field. And Andrea Aguirre is back in for the Fighting Saints as the Saints toss it in. Slide from behind. Play kept alive, though, by Indiana Northwest. And now tackled away. Aguirre makes a nice challenge. She loses it right back to Heilich. Indiana Northwest looking to tie it up, and Rodriguez is right there to make the save. Quick shot from Romero. Rodriguez had it the whole way. Romero's trying to make anything happen right now, late in a 1-goal game. Down close to the box. Nice job by the Saints to keep it alive. Here's Mariquin sending it towards the net, and Escalera is there. So initially that was Shar, who got to that ball before the goalkeeper did, created another empty net. But that time Escalera got back to the net very quickly. There's a deflection by Janacek. Into the box, there's a shot, and Rodriguez is able to scoop it up off the ground. Kelly Schaefer takes another shot. Indiana Northwest scoring chances have outnumbered that of St. Francis here in the second half after it was very decisively the other way in the first half. Rodriguez has been around, though. She's made a couple of important saves, not incredibly difficult ones, but very important just the same. Throw in for Indiana Northwest, but they're running out of time. They're down to their final 4 minutes. Right on the sideline, 1 red shirt, 3 white shirts there, and so St. Francis does take possession. This is Aguirre. A little more pressure now from the Red Hawks. Tapped back, taken away by St. Francis, and a foul called on Indiana Northwest. Yellow card given. It's given to Haley Heileck. So free kick for the Fighting Saints. Just past midfield, Aguirre whistles it into the box, and the Red Hawks let it roll out of bounds. But at this stage, even just being able to take up 15 seconds and put the ball that far away from the net is a small victory for St. Francis. Nothing much has happened in the last minute for the Red Hawks, who are in desperation mode. They'll take whatever they can get as long as it's action that is moving forward. That's not what we've seen. Here comes Shar. Dribbling to the right. Shar didn't have an area to turn it upfield, so she passes off to O'Connor instead. In front of that, Ventura takes the shot through the hands of Esquera and into the net. A goal for Vivian Ventura, and that should just about put it away for the Fighting Saints as the lead runs to 2-0. Isabel Escalera has been good all game, but this time she let it roll right through her fingertips between the legs. Not one of her most difficult saves of the game, although Ventura was shooting from close range. But still, she's made more difficult saves than that today and just didn't have it that time. Just a little bit of a mistake. Perhaps enough to cost the Red Hawks the game, although they were trailing before that. This 2-goal deficit is going to be nigh impossible to make up in just over 2 minutes. For Ventura, that's the 3rd goal of the season. That ranks second on the team behind Allison Shar, who has 4. Ventura, just a freshman from Chicago. Off to a great start to her collegiate career. 3 goals now. 6 total points. Nobody on this side of the field, so that one rolls dead along the sideline. Indiana Northwest has to hurry their way back. Not apparently in speed-up mode here. They may be waving the white flag to some extent with just 80 seconds remaining. 2 goals to be made up. So the goal was Ventura's 3rd. Assisted by another freshman. Ichel Palayo into the box. Allison Shar's got a chance. Stayed on sides, and she puts it away. Allison Shar scores her 5th goal of the season. With 1 minute remaining, 3-0 St. Francis. Well, it was likely over for all intents and purposes before that. But that makes it official, as far as I'm concerned. I guess it's not official for another 59 seconds, but St. Francis is going to pick up their 2nd consecutive win in conference and start the season 2-0 in CCAC play. It looks like they're on their way to their 2nd consecutive shutout as well, and they will have begun their conference season with a total of 8-0 on the scoreboard if nothing changes here. One final push from Indiana Northwest to at least try to break up this shutout. Sent into the box to Schaefer from Romero. Schaefer dribbles, takes the shot just high. Maybe the best shot of the game from Kelly Schaefer. But it ends this one as Indiana Northwest will not have enough time to get another touch here. St. Francis lets the clock run out, and they finish off a 3-0 victory over Indiana University Northwest today. Nice performance by the Fighting Saints. The 3-0 score in one way is a little misleading because it was a one-goal game most of the way through, all the way until the 88th minute when St. Francis finally scored again. In another sense, though, the 3-0 score is probably more indicative of the way this game was actually played, because for much of the afternoon, the Fighting Saints dominated the Redhawks and just didn't have the goals to show for it. A couple of broken plays late, though. St. Francis finished off those opportunities, and they do come away with their third consecutive win. This is already their second 3-game winning streak of the season. They've matched their season opening 3-game stretch by winning 3 in a row here following their lone loss. And they improved to 6-1 on the season. Scoring recap, after a lot of chances in the first half just didn't quite go their way, the Fighting Saints finally did break the scoreless tie in the 37th minute. It was Alexis Mariquin off an assist from Vivian Ventura. So Ventura had a big game with an assist and a goal. Mariquin is the one who broke the shutout, made it 1-0. It was 1-0 at halftime, and then it was 1-0 pretty much the entire second half as well. Finally, in the 88th minute, Ventura took a shot from right in front of the net. And Isabel Escalera, who's made some excellent saves throughout the game today, this time just made a mistake. The ball rolled right between her legs. She tried to make the stop and couldn't. And that made it 2-0 and essentially put it away in St. Francis's favor, but they weren't quite done. Just 2 minutes later, they scored again, about a minute and a half later, really. It was with 59.8 seconds showing on the clock, so technically in the 90th minute. Allison Shar scored her third goal already in conference play, her first of the game, and her fifth overall this season. She leads the team with 5 goals and 11 points this year. Ventura finished with a goal and an assist, and Alexis Mariquin scored her first goal of the season in the victory. So our final score, St. Francis 3, Indiana Northwest 0. We've got another game coming up in just a little bit. They're out on the field warming up right now, the men's version of this rivalry. St. Francis will get their men's conference season started, their first game of the CCAC schedule, and Indiana Northwest is the team standing on the other side of the field trying to prevent them from picking up their first CCAC victory of the year. That game about a half hour away. We'll be starting that one at 3:30, so hopefully you'll come back for that. Next broadcast for St. Francis women's soccer is Tuesday night. They're right back here at home as they continue conference play. Tuesday night, a 7 o'clock start time here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Again, our final score in this one, 3-0. The Saints take out the Redhawks. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. We'll talk to you again next time. Terry Bonadonna signing off for now from Joliet. We'll be back with the men's game at 3:30.